to commit sinful activities on the strength of the holy name. Number 8, to consider the chanting of Hare Krishna as one of the auspicious ritualistic activities which are offered in Vedas as fruitive activities, Karma Kand. Number 9, to instruct a faithless person about the glories of the holy name. Number 10, to not have complete faith in the chanting of the holy name and to maintain material attachments even after understanding so many instructions on this matter. It is also an offense to be inattentive while chanting. Every devotee who claims to be a Vaishnava must guard against these offenses in order to achieve the desired success, Krishna Prema. So once again, thank you. Welcome to today's call and thank you very much for joining us. Moving on to our next session, which is Srimad Bhagavatam class. I would let all the devotees on the call to please go ahead with your introductions now.
Hare Krishna, Lakshmi Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, all glory to Srila Prabhupada. This is Vinita Gandharvika Devidasi from Texas.
Hare Krishna, Vinita Gandharvika Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much for joining us today, Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Guru Maharaj ki jai. This is Shyamagari Devidasi from Charlotte.
Hare Krishna, Shyamagari Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much for joining us today, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Lakshmi Mataji, all glories to Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj's. My humble obeisances to you and all the devotees. This is Krishna Kumari Devidasi from Lal.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Kumari Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much for joining us today, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Shri Guru and Gauranga and all the assembled devotees. Yashamati from Chicago.
Hare Krishna, Yashamati Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much for joining us today, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, all glories to Prabhupada, all glories to Guru Maharaj, all glories to assembled devotees. This is Mohini Lakshmi from Detroit.
Hare Krishna, Mohini Lakshmi Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much for joining us today, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Guru and Gauranga, all glories to assembled devotees. This is Charu from Charlotte. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Charu Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much for joining us today, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to all the assembled devotees. This is Sushmita from Canada.
Hare Krishna, Sushmita Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much for joining us today, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Lakshmi Mataji. This is Ramya here. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to all the Vaishnavas and Guru Maharaj. Dandavat Pranam, Ramya from Coimbatore.
Hare Krishna, Ramya Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much for joining us today, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Lakshmi Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and all the assembled devotees. This is Indulekha Karna Devidasi from Lincoln.
Hare Krishna, Indulekha Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much for joining us today, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Do we have any more introductions before we start the class? Hare Krishna. Welcome to Bhakti Sangha conference call. We're extremely fortunate to have Her Grace Medhavini Sakhi Mataji here with us today. And Mataji would be enlightening us by discussing Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 6, Chapter 9, and verse 2 and 3. But before we dive into this nectarine class, I will request Raj Prabhuji to share a brief introduction about His Grace Medhavini Sakhi Mataji. Hare Krishna, Raj Prabhuji. Dandavat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Over to you.
Dandavat Pranam, Mataji. You and all the assembled devotees, all glories to Srila Prabhupada, Shri Guru and Gauranga. Here's a brief introduction for Mataji. Her Grace Medhavini Sakhi Mataji is a disciple of His Holiness Jayapataka Swami Maharaj and received Harinam initiation in 2004 in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, and Brahman initiation in Chennai in 2019. She's a chartered accountant by profession and currently lives in Mumbai with her husband, His Grace Harinam Krishna Prabhuji, and their 2 daughters. They serve at the Radha Giridhari Mandir, Mira Road, Radha Gopinath Mandir, and Jagannath Center, Thane. She serves as a coordinator, hosting and managing the Jayapataka Swami's Shishya Samuha Mumbai programs and transcription proofreading of His Holiness Jayapataka Swami's Maharaj lectures. During COVID, Mataji conducted daily online Brahma Muhurta Japa sessions and organized an international online quiz challenge based on Srila Prabhupada Lilamrita in commemoration of Srila Prabhupada's 125th appearance anniversary. Mataji also gives online Srimad Bhagavatam classes. Over to you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Raj Prabhuji, for that introduction. Hare Krishna, Medhavini Sakhi Mataji. Dandavat Pranam. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you very much for giving us your valuable time and association this morning and enlightening us on the topic of Srimad Bhagavatam. Without further ado, I would like to request you to please take over from here. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam. Just 1 second.
Sure, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, am I audible?
Yes, Mataji.
Yes, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. So thank you all for joining in for the Srimad Bhagavatam session. We'll start with Jai Radha Madhava. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari Jaya Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodhanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yashodhanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jaya Radha Madhav Jaya Radha Madhav Radha Madhav Jai Shri Radha Madhav Jaya Panchatattva Jaya Panchatattva Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Srila Prabhupada Jaya Gurudev Jaya Gurudev Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So thank you all for joining in. As I was just preparing for today's class, I was thinking we'll start this session by singing a wonderful song, which I thought was the solution to the issues, or so to say, the problems that we're going to discuss in today's verse. Can I share my screen? Let me try to share my screen. Yeah, I'm able to share my screen. Is my screen visible, Mataji?
Yes, Mataji.
Mataji.
Yeah. Okay, Hare Krishna, thank you. So we will sing this wonderful song. This is the solution to what we want to discuss in the entire class today. And then when we conclude the class, we will relate to this song and then we'll conclude the session. So let's sing this beautiful song. Manas deho geho yogi chamo Arpilo tuapade Nanda Kishore Manasa deho geho yogi chamo Arpilo tuapade Nanda Kishore Sampade Vipade Jivane Mane Dai Mam Gela Tua Upada Bharani Maro Bhira Kabhi Joi Cha Tohara Nitya dasa prati tua adhikara Janma bhima icha jari to Bhakta grah jani janma amoy Ita janma jata tuadasa Bahirmukha brahma janme nahi asha Bhukti mukti spriha vihi naje bhakta Labhaite tako sanga anurakta Janaka janani daita tanai Prabhu Guru Pati tu sarvamoy Bhakati Vinoda Kohe Chuno Kana Sadhana Tu Amara Purana Bhakati Vinoda Kohe Chuno Kana Sadhana Tu Amara Purana Manasa deho geho yogi chamor arpilo tuapade Nanda Kishore Arpilo tuapade Nanda Kishora Arpilo tuapade Nanda Kishore. So this is a beautiful song that's written by Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur, where he's talking about surrendering manasa, deho, geho, jo kichumor, about surrendering one's mind, one's words, one's body, one's family, everything that one has in the service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So let's keep this song in mind. Let's be conscious of this. So finally, Bhakti Vinod Thakur is saying, "Oh Khana, please hear me. Oh Lord of Radha, You are my life and soul. You are everything to me. I yearn for the company of that devotee who's completely devoid of all desire for worldly enjoyment. May I be born again even as a worm, so long as I may remain in the association of your devotees. Slay me, protect me as you wish, do whatever you want, but I want to be your eternal servant. In good fortune or in bad fortune, in life or death, whatever may happen to me, whether in happy situations or in difficult situations, let me always choose those lotus feet of yours as my only shelter. And then finally, whatever may be mine, my mind, my body, my family, whatever else I may call my own, or what has been given to me by the Lord as the resources under my control, let me surrender everything at the lotus feet of the son of Nanda Maharaj, who is Lord Sri Krishna. So let's keep these thoughts in our mind as we read today's verses. Let's start with the prayers. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naranchaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udhirayet Nashta Prayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtuki Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nanda Gopakumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha Namo Pankajanabhaya Namo Pankajamaline Namo Pankajanetraya Namaste Pankajangraye Pahi Pahi Mahayogin Deva Deva Jagatpate Nanyam Twadabhayam Pashe Yatra Mrityu Parasparam Krishna Krishna Mahabaho Bhaktana Vayankara Twamiko Dhayamanana Pavargosi Samshrute. So today's verses are from Canto 6, Chapter 9, verses 2 to 3. Okay. Hare Krishna. Okay, so let's recite verse number 2. Savai barhishi devebhyo bhagam pratyakshamuchakaihi adadad yasya pitaro deva saprashrayam nripa. Translation by Divine Grace Abhicharanarindra Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. O Maharaja Parikshit, the demigods were related to Vishwarupa from his father's side, and therefore he visibly offered clarified butter in the fire while chanting mantras such as Indraya Idam Swaha. This is meant for King Indra. And Idam Agnaye. This is for the demigod of fire. He loudly chanted these mantras and offered each of the demigods his proper share. Text number 3. Sa eva hi dado bhagam paroksham asuran prati yajamano avahad bhagam matra sneha visvashanugaha. Translation by Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Although offering clarified butter in the sacrificial fire in the name of the demigods, without the knowledge of the demigods, he also offered oblations to the demons because they were his relatives through his mother. Purport by Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Because of Vishwarupa's affection for the families of both the demigods and the demons, he appeased the Supreme Lord on behalf of both dynasties. When he offered oblations in the fire on behalf of the Asuras, he did so secretly, without the knowledge of the demigods. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Patakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Shri Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Pada Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha Namo Vishnu Padhaya Krishna Preshthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namine Gaura Dushe Namaha Panchatattva-atmakam Krishnam Bhaktarupa Swarupakam Bhaktavataram Bhaktakyam Namami Bhaktashaktikam He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Shri Radha Kanta Namosute Taptaka Anchana Gaurangi Shri Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Rama Rama Hare Hare Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langayate Girim Yat Kripatamaham Mande Shri Gurun Dinatarinam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Krishna Chaitanya Ishwaram Harihi Om Tat Sat. Hare Krishna. So we'll discuss these two verses. We'll read the translations of these two verses first, and then we will try to discuss these two verses, and then we'll connect it to what Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur is giving as the solutions to these, whatever we are reading in these two verses. So the translation, O Maharaja Parikshit, the demigods were related to Vishwarupa from his father's side, and therefore he visibly offered clarified butter in the fire while chanting mantras such as Indraya Idam Swaha and Idam Agneye. He loudly chanted these mantras, offered each of the demigods his proper share. Although offering clarified butter in the sacrificial fire in the name of the demigods, without the knowledge of the demigods, he also offered oblations to the demons because they were his relatives through his mother. So to just give a quick background to what is happening here, to just recollect what is the context in which this yajna is being performed by Vishwarupa. We saw in the previous chapter how Vishwarupa gave the Narayana Kavacha shield to the demigods, and then he is performing this yajna to appease the Supreme Personality of Godhead, to please the Supreme Personality of Godhead for the benefit of the demigods. So we know that demigods are empowered administrators of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but the demigods are not necessarily pure devotees. They want to rule the kingdom of the heavenly planets, right? Indra always wants, he gets insecure if somebody is doing 100 Ashwamedh yajnas because his position is at stake. So that is the consciousness of Indra. Indra gets insecure. Why? Because he has got this desire that he should continue to rule the heavenly planets. So these two verses are talking about how Vishwarupa, the priest of this, who's conducting this yajna, he was related to the demigods from his father's side, as Prabhupada mentions, and he was connected to the demons from his mother's side. So he actually had a relationship with both the demons as well as the demigods. So what did he do? He loudly chanted the prayers for the demigods because Indra actually asked him to perform this yajna. So he loudly chanted the prayers for the demigods. At the same time, he could not give up his connection with the demons, and so he was murmuring without the knowledge of the demigods. The benefit of performing this yajna also goes to the demons. So in this way, he was murmuring the mantras. And we know, like later part, we get to know that Indra, when he understands that this is what Vishwarupa is doing, what is he doing? He is chanting loudly for my benefit or for the benefit of the Devatas, and he is chanting, in a murmuring way, or in a, chanting in his mind, or, in very low volume. He's chanting for the benefit of the the demons, Indra gets very angry. He cuts the head of Vishwarupa. Why? Because Vishwarupa is doing something that is going against his will of sense gratification, that he wants to continue to be the king of the heavenly planets. So this is the consciousness of a person who has sense gratification in his mind. We always talk about this Bhoga Vritti and Seva Vritti. As long as Bhoga Vritti is our consciousness, that we try to exploit the material nature, we try to exploit everything that comes in our hand, all the resources that we have. How can I use this for my sense gratification? If that is our consciousness, then what will we do? We will try to disturb all the people. We'll try to change all the situations that we think are going to hamper our sense gratification. Right? We also see in the past time of Vasudeva and Devaki, right? The Devaki is getting married to Vasudeva, and Kamsa is so happy. He loves his sister Devaki so much that although there are so many people there to drive the chariot, he says, I will personally drive the chariot and take Devaki to home. Like that, he sits on the chariot also. He's crying in separation. He's so much in affection for Devaki, but all that affection vanished into thin air when the moment the Akashvani was there, that the 8th child of Devaki is going to kill you. When Kamsa heard this, all of his affection vanished, right? There was no more affection. Immediately he wanted to kill Devaki. We saw how, in a moment's time, kshana, or in a second's moment, in a moment's time, his attitude was completely changed. Why? Because until then, Devaki was a sister, was giving him a lot of affection, etc. So he was also affectionate. But the moment he knew that this person, somebody related to this person, the son of this person, the son of Devaki is going to become the cause of his kal or the cause of his death, immediately he had no affection. He immediately wanted to kill that person who was going to be the cause of his death. Right? Death will come at any time, whether it is through Devaki's son or through any other person. If not now, later, at whichever point it is scheduled, death will come. That is the attitude of a devotee. So it does not unnecessarily get worried. If not for this person, somebody else will kill, isn't it? But Kamsa was very attached. He wanted to live forever. He wanted to be the king forever. And all of that sense gratification in his mind, he immediately changed his attitude. And we have this beautiful verse in Srimad Bhagavatam which says, Yasyasti bhaktir bhagavati akinchana sarvair gunes tatra samasate suraha harava bhaktasya kuto mahan guna manoradena sati davato bahihi. Yasyasti bhaktir bhagavati akinchana. One for one who is a devotee of the Lord, who worships Bhagavati, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, what happens? Sarvair gunais tatra samasate sura. All the good qualities of the demigods automatically manifest in that person. Right? We have our Prahlad Maharaj. He actually, in this case, Kamsa only heard the Akashvani. He was not put into any kind of trouble. But the mere news made him get agnostic or, antagonistic. Right? He became averse to Devaki. In that minute when he heard this Akashvani. But Prahlad Maharaj, on the other hand, we see he's a devotee of the Lord. Hiranyakashipu actually put him into trouble. He dropped him from the mountain. He put him into a burning oil. What all he did not do? He kept him in a room full of snakes. Right? All of that he did. But Prahlad Maharaj was neither fearful nor did he try to trouble Hiranyakashipu. He did not try to kill his father. He did not do anything. In fact, he continued his preaching of Krishna consciousness to his friends. He was telling his father also, wherever you are getting your strength, I'm also getting my strength from there only, like that. He was preaching to his father, but he had no tinge of animosity or anxiety or fearfulness. Why? That is the quality of a devotee. So a devotee automatically gets all the qualities of the suras. The demigods are supposed to have very good qualities. That is why Lord Krishna, Lord Vishnu, has empowered them to be the administrators of this material universe. However, the verse continues, Harava bhaktasya kuto mahan guna. Right? Some people like Kamsa, we saw that he's so affectionate. He seemed to have so much affection for Devaki. He seemed to have all the good qualities. He was so caring that he wanted to personally drive Devaki to her home. All of that. But what happened? It is manoratena sati dhavato bahihi. It is all in the mental level. When the mind gets disturbed, then such a person who seems to have had all the good qualities of the demigods, immediately he will not act as per those qualities. Those qualities suddenly vanish from that person, because that person is indulging in sense gratification, and anything that does not facilitate a sense gratification, his mind gets agitated, and all of the good qualities, they just disappear, isn't it? So this verse, what does it say? If a person is a devotee, then all these good qualities are automatically possessed by such a devotee, and these good qualities become ornaments for the devotee, right? That's Ranarbi Shunichena, Taroriva Sahishnuna, Amanina Manadina, Kirtaniya Sadhari. All of these good qualities of humility, compassion, tolerance, all that enables such a devotee to chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra more and more constantly. These qualities automatically come to a devotee. But and on the other hand, a person may have such good qualities of humility, compassion, tolerance, etc. But all of those qualities are of no use, because such a person is not going to utilize those qualities in serving the Supreme Lord. And those qualities, when it is utmost needed, they all vanish. Right? And in Srimad Bhagavatam, there's another verse also, which says what is the cause of such attachment, wherein the cause for all of this, right? In a moment, the mind changes from complete affection, it becomes so much of hatred for the same person, right? Ato grihai kshetra sutapta vitthait janasya moho yam aham mameti, right? Janasya moho, because of illusion, I think that I am this body, aham mameti, this body is this, I am this body, whoever is related to this body is mine, right? I become attached to my body, my home, my property, my children, my relatives, my wealth, everything that is attached to this body, I consider that as mine. And what do? Anybody hampers or anybody brings about any kind of trouble to my body, to my home, to my property, to my children, to my relatives, or to my wealth, or to my health, or whatever it may be, then I am subject to illusion, and I think, oh, this is mine, I have to protect it, right? The consciousness of, again, bhogavritti, right? I want to enjoy sense gratification, and whoever causes any kind of difficulty, or whoever gives any blockage in this path, I consider that person as my enemy, and I go to any length to to change the situation from pain to pleasure situation. I do anything under my control to change the situation, to even kill the person, etc., etc. As long as I'm attached to I, me, mine, aham mameti, I continue to be entangled in the three modes of material nature. Immediately I become rajasic. I want to kill that person, right? If possible, I'll kill that person. Or I just engage in, drinking alcohol or go to sleep. Like that, I may enter into the tamasic mode to just simply escape from that situation. In all situations, I remain within this material world. I will live in the dualities of happiness and distress. Some situations make me happy, some situations cause distress to me, but I will be continuing in the cycle of birth, death, disease, old age, this cycle of pain, suffering, frustration, etc., etc. Let Krishna tells in Bhagavad Gita 7.27, Ichcha dvesha samuttena dvandva mohena bharata sarva bhutani sammoham sarge yanti parantapa. All the living entities are born into delusion. They are bewildered by the dualities arising out of desire and hate. Srila Prabhupada also tells that we were all originally Krishna conscious living entities, but because we wanted to enjoy independent of Krishna. Why did we want to enjoy independent of Krishna? Because we were envious of Krishna. We were thinking, oh, why Krishna should get all the worship? Why I should not get the worship? Right? Ichcha moha, ichcha dvesha samuttena. Ichcha means I desire that I should get all the happiness. Why is it the other person is being happy? Sometimes it is not even getting happiness. Sometimes it is just distress because somebody else is happy. And what do we want to do? We become dvesha. We become so envious that we want to somehow or the other, that person should not enjoy. Right? And Prabhupada says the last snare of Maya is to become God ourselves. Right? Because we think this body is giving us so much suffering, so let me merge into Brahman. Right? Those people who follow the religious scriptures also, they get into this last snare of Maya. Either they want to get into, join with the Brahmajyoti, merge with the Brahmajyoti, or ultimately they want to become God. Why? Because they want to control the situation. They think everything has to be in my hand. I have to control the situation and change the situation from grief to happiness. That control should be in my hand. So that is the moha or the illusion that a person who wants to engage in sense gratification is always put into by Lord Krishna through the potency of Yoga Maya. right? Whenever we want to enjoy, then Krishna will create a situation where where it will be like a mirage in the desert, right? It will look like I'm going to enjoy now, I'm going to enjoy now, I'm going to enjoy now. But that now, there never comes, right? That it's like a carrot dangling in front of a donkey. I'm going to get it now. I'm going to get it now, get it now. But the carrot keeps moving, right? We never get the happiness. So by sense gratification, by the attitude of trying to enjoy our senses, or to change the situation, which we think will cause us distress, is simply not the formula given by the Lord. The Lord has created this world as dukkhalayam. Right, difficulties are going to come, but where am I going to seek? It's not bad to seek happiness, right? Anandamaya abhyasat. We are all amshas of the Supreme Lord. Amevamsu jiva loke jiva bhuta sanatana, and the Lord is eternally blissful. So it is our nature to always seek happiness. Anandamaya abhyasat. But where are we seeking happiness? Are we seeking happiness in bhoga vritti or in seva vritti? Krishna very clearly tells that this world is dukkhalayam. Are we seeking happiness in this material world, which has been given in the manual itself? Bhagavad Gita calls this place of dukkhalayam. When the manual itself tells that you cannot get happiness in this material world, then how is it that we are seeking happiness? It's extreme foolishness on our part, isn't it? And dvesha is what? Like somebody else is happy. Then I don't know, my situation I forget, right? But somebody else is happy. Why is that person happy? Right? I was hearing one devotee's class was saying, when there is power cut in the house, we immediately go and check, is there power cut in the neighbor's house also? Right? Most of us will have the experience, at least before we came to Krishna consciousness, because it's very natural for us. If there's power cut in the neighbor's house also, if the power cut is also there in the neighbor's house, then we are saying, okay, then it will reduce our grief. But if the power cut is only in our house, the neighbor's house, there is no power cut, then it adds to our grief. So much we are conditioned that simply by this competitive mentality, by this envious mentality, we create a suffering situation for ourselves. There is a pain. Pain is inevitable in this material world. How much we suffer depends on our attitude. Right? Krishna tells you have to give up this aham mameti attitude. What does Krishna say? Daivi haivesha gunamayi mama maya duratyaya mameva ye prapadyante mayametam tarantite. Arjuna, it is very, very difficult to cross over and come out of this rajoguna, tamoguna, and satvaguna also. Right? In satvaguna, we are happy. We are situated in this conditioning of happiness, peacefulness. Right? By our good qualities, we think we are wonderful. This false ego creeps in, even in the sattvic platform. And that also binds us to this material world. So whether it is sattva or rajas or tamas, well, the sattvic platform enables us to jump over to Shuddha sattvic platform in an easier way. But we are bound by a gold chain or a silver chain or a copper chain. We are still bound to this material world. So what does Krishna tell? The formula? Only if you surrender to me, then by my mercy, you will be able to cross over this world of material existence. You'll be able to give up bodily identifications. You'll be able to give up this aham mameti. This is mine. I am this body. Everything you'll be able to give up only when we surrender to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Sri Krishna. So we have to seek happiness in the right place. How do we seek happiness in the right place? By reading Bhagavad Gita, by understanding Bhagavad Gita, by inquiring from a bona fide spiritual master, by rendering services to the spiritual master. The spiritual master will light the lamp. The spiritual master is representative of Lord Krishna. Krishna tells, I light the lamp by which your ignorance will be destroyed. And the spiritual master is a bona fide representative of Krishna, who by giving us this gyan, because he has seen the truth, right? Tadviti pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya upadekshanti te jnanam jnaninas tattva darshinaha. So the spiritual master will reveal the truth in our heart, by which we are able to understand the first learning from Bhagavad Gita. I am not this body, I am the spirit soul. So then I will direct my activities to a satisfaction of the soul. What is it that will give pleasure to my soul and not this body? As long as I'm interested in sense gratification, enjoying the propensity, enjoying my, with my senses, then I will always be frustrated. How do I go back to that place where there is no misery? Vaikunta. Kunta means misery. Vaikunta means that is a world where there is no misery. So how do I go back to that world? That is what is the formula? By surrender to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So in this material world, is there no way that we can be happy? In this verse, right? Why was Indra frustrated? Because Vishwarupa was actually telling the mantra for the benefit of the demons also. He was frustrated because he did not want the demons to get any credit of the yajna that he is performing. And why was Vishwarupa telling the names of the demons? He is actually being employed by the demigods. So according to the duty, what he should do, he should work for the demigods. He should tell the prayers for the demigods. But he was also not able to give the bodily attachment. He was attached to the demigods and the demons equally. So this bodily attachment is there. One cannot perform one's duty also in the proper consciousness. Only when we are surrendering to the Supreme Lord, we can even perform our swadharma in the right way. Otherwise, we will get entangled. If you are performing sinful activities, we'll get bound in the vikarma. Because of vikarma, we'll get bound and we'll get reactions and we have to suffer getting a material body again and again. But we are performing even pious activities. And then also we get bound by the karmic reactions. Right? We'll be born in a Brahminical family where we'll be very happy, very nicely situated. We'll be performing activities, again with a material motive of getting wealth, getting name, getting fame, getting all of this material opulences, which die with the body. And then again we get born in this family, and then family of Brahmanas, and then we continue in a Sattvic platform for time immemorial. That's what we've been doing. Whether we are in Sattvic platform or Rajasic platform, Tamasic platform, we go to an animal form of life, and then we get again slowly evolve, come to the human form of life, and then we utilize our free will to enjoy sense gratification. And then according to our consciousness, whether it is Sattvic or Rajasic or Tamasic, we get still bound. Jalaja Navalakshani Stavar Lakshavimshati. We go into the cycle of birth, death, disease, and old age, and we continue in it. So is there no way that in the material world we can be happy? Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita 5.10, Brahmanyadhaya karmani sangam tyaktva karotiyah lipyatena sa papena padma patram ivambasa. Right? What is the solution to become happy in this material world? Of course, we want to go back home, back to Godhead. We want to go back to that place where there is no misery, because this material world is a miserable place. But Krishna gives us a trick. Right? Every rule, there is an exception to every rule. Right? How Krishna gives us a formula by which in this material world also you can be happy. How? When we perform our duties without being attached to the results, and we surrender the results to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, then such a person, one is not affected by sinful action. That's fine. Sinful action is not there. That's fine. But one has a propensity to commit sin. How do we get out of that also? By surrender to the Supreme Lord, what happens? We become like a lotus leaf that is untouched by water. Padma patram ivambasa. Padma patram, just like a lotus leaf, is on the water, but it's still not of the water. Prabhupada says, be in the material world, but you need not be of the material world. In the material world also, we can transcend in our consciousness, we can become Shuddha Sattvic. We can transcend the Sattva, Rajas and Tamo natures. And in this way, even in the material world, we can be happy. Brahmabhuta prasannatma na shochati na kankshati. Not hankering for anything, not lamenting for anything. How we can do that? When we surrender to the Lord. Right? Bhoktaram yajnatapasam sarvalokam maheshwaram suhradam sarvabhutanam yatva mam shanti mrichati. When are we able to surrender? When we know that Krishna is the controller of everything. And not only is he the controller of everything, he is my supreme well-wisher. He is my supreme friend. And how can I, my supreme well-wisher or my supreme friend or my closest friend, do something that is bad for me? Right? I may perceive it as bad, some suffering that may come my way. I may perceive it as bad, or some pain that may come my way. I may perceive it as bad for the particular situation. But when I have a higher understanding by study of the scriptures, by hearing from a bona fide spiritual master, when I have the higher understanding that Krishna is my supreme well-wisher, and whatever happens is within the control of the Lord. It may be out of my control, but it is within the control of my Lord, and he cannot do anything that is bad for me. So I am not in anxiety. Otherwise, I will be in continuous anxiety. I will try to control the situation. I will try to change the situation. And in this way, I will be incurring karma. I will be performing vikarma. I will be performing karma. I'll try to harm that person who is hampering my sense gratification. Then I'll be performing vikarma. Or I may do something, even in my sattvic tendency, I may perform something. I may work, I may pray to a particular demigod. Oh, let this suffering go away. And then what am I doing? I'm incurring pious credits. Again, I have to get a material body to enjoy for that particular pious credits that I'm getting, right? But ultimately, what am I doing? I am just dwindling between pleasure and pain, happiness and distress. I will continue in this cycle of birth and death. So again, now we come to this most wonderful verse. It is very, very difficult to even understand this verse, how to practice it. We cannot do it artificially, but when we surrender to the Lord, we can pray to the Lord. That this is the highest level that it's given in Srimad Bhagavatam. Although we cannot artificially think that I deserve more, but this is what. But what we have to do is we have to cultivate that. How does that attitude come? Right? What the verse I'm referring to is 10.14.8. Right? Tatenu kampam susamikshamano Bhunjana evatmakritam vipakam Ridva purvir virada namaste Jive taye mukti pade sadaya bhag. Mukti becomes the rightful heir of a person. Of a person. Which person is this? Tatenu kampam susamikshamano bhunjana evatma kritam vipakam. When a person gets pain, when a person is feeling is suffering, that person thinks that by it's the mercy of the Lord, I should have got much, much more suffering. But by the mercy of the Lord, my suffering has been reduced to a token. This is just simply to purify me. Right? After the darkest of the night is the brightest of the morning, isn't it? There's a saying in English also about it. So he thinks that this suffering, I should have got much, much more. I should have got infinite proportion of this, but I've just got a small token by the mercy of the Lord. When a person accepts suffering in this way, what happens? He becomes the rightful heir to mukti. What is mukti? Mukti does not mean merging into the Brahman, or mukti does not mean becoming the Lord. That oneness, which Isha Upanishad very beautifully explains, that oneness is oneness in interest with the Lord. What is the Lord's interest? I dovetail my interests or my activities in serving the interest of the Lord. Right? How do I do that? Mukti hitvanyatha rupam swarupena vyavasthitihi. That means in my constitutional position, whatever situation I am in, I work in such a way that I give pleasure to the Lord. I serve the Lord while being grateful that whatever situation I am placed in, that is the best situation to be in. And in this situation, how can I serve the Lord? When we do this, then mukti, right? Sarvam Bhattacharya, we saw how he was an impersonalist. He was thinking that, who's this? The sannyasi, you should be actually studying the Vedanta philosophy. What are you doing? Simply chanting Hare Krishna and all. In the association of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Why did Chaitanya Mahaprabhu give him the mercy? Because he was related to Gopinath Acharya, who was a pure devotee. Like that. When we associate with sadhus, then automatically their good qualities automatically come to us. And Lord will also be pleased, right? We saw how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was standing behind the Garuda Stambha when he's taking darshan of the deities, right? When we are in the association of the devotees, their qualities come to us, their blessing come to us. When we serve such devotees very nicely, those devotees bless us with their heart. And by their blessings, we are able to develop this attitude of thinking that, I should, understanding, right? It's not actually thinking. It's about understanding that that is the actual situation, that I should be entitled to too much of suffering because of my bad karma, but Krishna is giving us a token, right? It is there in the head. It is there in the brain. But if it has to sink into the heart, it can only be possible by the blessing of a devotee, by the mercy of a devotee. One thing is, asking for blessings. But that is, of course, the devotee is merciful. The devotee may give us blessings, may pray for you also. But the right way is the devotee should bless us with their heart. When does that happen? When we serve the devotees in such a way, they're so pleased by our services that they bless us with all their heart, without even having to ask, and they bless us. Then we are able to develop this attitude. That is why Prabhupada has given us this ABCD formula, right? We may do chanting, we may do reading of Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita, etc. We may do chanting of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra also in the association of devotees. But the ultimate formula, right? Chanting in this age is the prescribed process. But to develop taste in chanting, to develop interest in understanding Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, we need the association of devotees. We need the blessings of devotees. When we get the blessing of such pure devotees whom we serve with all our heart, then what happens? We come out of this aham mameti conception, because they are person Bhagavatas. They are living according to the principle of Bhagavad Gita. They are living according to the principle of Bhagavatam. By simply seeing them, we know that it is not theoretical, it is practical. We can see devotees, how they practice this principle of living outside the concept of aham mameti. They don't even think. They sacrifice so much that by simply serving them, by simply looking at them, we understand that it is practical. It is possible in today's time and age also. It is practical to come out of this conception of aham mameti, I, me, mine. my body, my relatives, my friends, my wealth, my property, etc., etc. In order to come out of this, we need the association of devotees. So with this, let's come back to the song that we sang. Bhakti Vinod Thakur says, what does he say? Manasa deho geho jo kichu mor arpilu tuva pade Nanda Kishore. Whatever I have, whether it is my body, whether it is my thoughts, whether it is my word, whether it is my deed, whether it is my relatives, whether it is my wealth, whatever I have in my in my possession, let me offer to you, O Lord, Nanda Kishore. How do we get this attitude? We get it in the association of those devotees who practice this principle of giving everything for the pleasure of the Lord. Right? Pain is inevitable, suffering is optional. How suffering becomes optional? How we can see in the lives of people, right? Jayapataka Swami Maharaj, he's undergone this kidney transplant, liver transplant, all of the diseases, right? There's cellulite on the feet every other day, and there's so much of pain, right? Apparently, we see that so much of bodily inconvenience is happening. Yet Maharaj does not miss giving a Chaitanya Charitamrita class on any day, whether it is 8 o'clock, 8:30, 9:30, even 9:30, the class starts sometimes, right? When Guru Maharaj is in some meeting or the other, right? Because whatever be his bodily inconveniences, right? Such devotees serve as a shining example. How we can, how at least for our practical understanding, right? We think that when we read Bhagavatam verses, oh, is it so theoretical? Does it really happen? Do we see such people in our lives? So such kind of instance, when we see people like Jayapataka Swami Guru Maharaj, we see that this bodily constraints, whatever is the constraints of the body, do not affect our consciousness. We want to bring ourselves to that platform where we surrender whatever we have. And when we develop this consciousness, and Krishna will help us develop the, Krishna will help us get the resources or whatever we need in order to execute devotional service. In order to develop this attitude more and more, we need the blessings of such devotees who have already transcended the bodily platform. That will help us by hearing from such devotees, by serving such devotees with all our heart. One day we can also pray and hope that we also come out of this Aham Mameti concept. So this is exactly what Bhakti Vinod Thakur is singing, right? How do we rise out above the dualities of life, about happiness and distress, pleasure, pain, etc. By simply serving those devotees who serve as an example for us. How it is possible to transcend the bodily concept of life and surrender everything in whatever situation I am placed in today. Let me engage in the service of the Lord. What best service can I do in this situation? If that is our consciousness, then that is the perfection of human form of life. So with this thought, it is, I would like to confess that it is theoretical. It is still in my mind. It is still in my brain, or perhaps it is on my head. But if it has to come down to my heart, if I have to practice this concept of giving up this Aham Mameti, then it is only possible by the blessings of the devotees, blessings of the Vaishnavas, right? Vancha kalpatharubhyascha kripa sindhubhyevacha atitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Right? The Vaishnavas are desire fulfilling trees. When we develop this desire that I want to come out of this Aham Mameti, I want to come out of this bodily platform, and I want to come out of this conception of thinking that everything that is related to the body is mine, and I want to protect that. When I give up this tendency, when I want to give up this tendency, when I desire to give up this tendency, and I serve the devotees, the pure devotees of the Lord who have already attained that state, then by their profuse blessings, one day I can also attain this particular platform and please Guru and Gauranga. So with this, I'd like to end today's session. I thank all of the wonderful devotees who have joined us today. Thank you for your kind and patient hearing. If there are any questions, we can take them now. So that's it that I wanted to share today. Some of the thoughts on this topic. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Very beautiful class, Mataji. But today your class was very short, so I was surprised. I said, "Why Mataji is stopping? Your class is so amazing. You could have gone ahead, Mataji. So beautiful class. So many beautiful points, Mataji. I loved. You said we want to enjoy independently, Mataji, and we see this even after years of chanting. Actually, I'm example. Even though we listen that the infinite bliss is only in bhajan, is only in naam chanting, is only in Guru Seva, but we still find try to find that happiness which will go away. We all know that. We all know a big house, a big business, big money, it will go away one day for sure. We all are aware of that, but still we run for that. So strange, right? How we are made, and why even, or knowing all this, why even Shastras telling are not changing our mind. Certainly my mind, not many exalted devotees here. So beautiful class, Mataji. Thank you so much. So many amazing points, and thank you for the bhajan, Mataji. That was such a sweet bhajan. It's one of
bhajan? Yeah.
Yes, Mataji. It's one of the,
because I always feel that the answers to all of our the solutions are already there in Vaishnava bhajans, whether it's Narottam Das Thakur's bhajans, Lochan Das Thakur's bhajans, Bhakti Vinod Thakur's bhajan that we sang today. They have the entire philosophy of Krishna consciousness embedded in them, like small capsules, right? We always want something, that can immediately relieve, right? One capsule, if it can give us all the solutions. That's what we want today, right? We don't have the time or the energy to go here, there, everywhere, read so many scriptures or verses and all. So simply, and every bhajan, right, with Prabhupada's translation and purport, we can imagine, right? In every purport, Prabhupada mentions, right? We cannot get happiness in this material world. So these Vaishnava bhajans are like those small capsules. If we take that capsule every day, then slowly but surely our consciousness will change. And then from Bhoga Vritti, by the grace of the Lord, by grace of Guru and Gauranga, we'll move into Seva Vritti, and then the journey happens where we want to go. Yeah.
Very true, Mataji. Very true. Certainly, Mataji. Beautiful. Mataji, we'll go to the question answer session with your permission, Mataji.
Yes, Prabhu.
Our very dear Sugakara Krishna Prabhuji, Dandava Pranam.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, you are muted. Prabhuji? Okay, I'll send him, ask to unmute. Prabhuji, Hari Bol.
I was locked. I was not able to open.
Now you are unlocked, Prabhu.
I'm coming out of Maya. Thank you, Mataji. It was a wonderful class. So many things you covered in Mataji. This Vishwarupa, though he is working for Indra, but he was attached to both mother side and father side. So he was knowing that he's doing a aparad, and he thought that nobody will see it. Only told it slowly or less sound and all. So he did it with the danger only, And then he had the intention to help both. Attachment.
He had the intention to
help both the Devas as well as the Asuras.
Correct. Yeah. So see, we all try to help in the bodily platform. We try to help people, right? But we don't understand that we are neither the controller, right? How much of my own body can I protect? That I try to help others, right? But having this knowledge and trying to help others develop Krishna consciousness, and we protect, then they also come to the platform of not caring so much for the body, because we know it's perishable, right? One day or the other, the body is going to perish. And Vishwarupa also, like it's a lesson for all of us. That what are we trying to protect, right? Are we trying to protect something that will anyway be destroyed, or are we trying to protect something that will give us eternal benefit, right? It is our choice. It is our free will. At every point, it is our free will what we want to protect, right? Of course, Draupadi, when she lifted her hands and shouted to Lord Sri Krishna, that is also considered pure devotional service, because whom does a devotee turn to for in times of difficulty? Right? That also exhibits a surrender only to the Lord, isn't it? So it is not about, it is the attitude, right? I always mention this. I think I mention this in every class. International Society for Krishna Consciousness. What is our consciousness? Am I surrendering to the Lord, that the Lord will protect me in all situations? The Lord will protect everybody in all situations. Or am I thinking, I am protecting the other people, or I am protecting the people around me, or my prayers are going to be so effective that it is going to help people, right? If it is there, and I always remember this Gaur Gopal Prabhu's I bought this iPhone, I paid for this iPhone. As long as I is in the center of our life, it is a big zero. But when we understand that Krishna is the center of our life, and I myself am so insignificant, so what is the significance of my problems? What is the significance level of whatever emotions I have, isn't it? So as long as I dovetail it, I am only helping myself. grow. And when I'm preaching, what am I doing? Still, I'm helping myself, right? That's why Krishna consciousness is the most selfish activity, actually, right? Because we are doing it. Of course, it helps others, but ultimately it helps us also, right? But when we see pure devotees do it, right? They come to just to deliver us. Then that is a very, very high level situation, right? The tattenu kampam susamikshamaano verse, right? We are never able to think, right? When we are in difficulty, why me, right? I was just seeing one Olympic winner. He got some AIDS or something, and then in fact, he had this high level of consciousness. He said, when I won the national level championship, I did not ask at that time, why me, right? But when I got this disease, why should I ask why me? So that is the consciousness of highly evolved people. But generally, at least for myself, I can say that, when some adverse situation comes, oh Krishna, why me? Why me? Right? I never am able to think that, I am actually, I deserve much worse trouble, much worse suffering. But Krishna has been so kind, and and even Arjuna, for that matter. It is not that we should not feel emotional. We should not. Whom will we tell? We'll tell Krishna only, right? When we are suffering, also we tell Krishna only. But when did Krishna tell Arjuna that your bodily consciousness? It is not when Arjuna told that. I'm feeling compassion for my relatives. That time Prabhupada says that Arjuna was feeling compassion for his relatives, and this is the quality of a devotee. Prabhupada does not mention that he is in bodily consciousness, but when his limbs start quivering, he puts down the Gandiva bow and he says, "I will not fight." That time only Krishna tells, right? What that? Prajna vadamsha bhashase gatasun agatasumcha nanu shoshanti pandita. Right? While speaking learned words, you're mourning for something which is not worthy of grief. Right? When we come to the point of not performing our duty because of these emotions or the suffering, then only Krishna tells that there only you are falling down. Right? But otherwise, emotions are natural. Right? We don't want to become hard-hearted. Devotees are emotional. They feel separation, right? Even Arjuna cried for Abhimanyu. All that is fine, right? When it takes us away from the path of devotional service, when it takes us away from our swadharma, the duty that we have to perform, then only it becomes a fall down. That is where we have to be in the association of devotees, constantly read Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam. Here, more important than reading, I would say, is hear Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam from those devotees who have realized this, who practically, practice this in their life. Then only, it'll help us develop that consciousness from inward, from our heart. Otherwise, it all stays in the head. It has to go down to the heart. Yeah. So, yeah. That's Mataji, my limited.
Thank you, Mataji. Now, the three things what we need in the spiritual life is Nama Ruchi, Jivadaya, and Vaishnava Seva. So the Nama Ruchi we are chanting, we are doing Anartha Nivritti and Atma Pravritti. But the Jivadaya also, I think we have to think that first I am also Jiva. First of all, I am doing Prachar, I am doing Achar. I am trying to do Achar for me. I am trying to repair myself. So that feeling that I am also fallen. But just because my Guru has told, I am just trying to preach. And even the Vaishnava Seva also, I am not doing. I am just an instrument, I am just Nimitta Matram. So that I feeling should not come at any point of time that I am just doing, I am just a Katputli, I am a doll. And then only I think we can really do as per his pleasure.
Yeah.
He's a driver.
That's what Prabhupada taught, right? Prabhupada said, Nacho, Prabhu, Nacho, se mate. Tastera putali jata nacho se mate. Prabhupada got instruction from Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, go and preach in the Western world. But yet, what was Prabhupada's consciousness? Oh Krishna, why have you brought me to this place? If you brought me to this place, make me dance like a puppet in your hands, isn't it? So if you get opportunities to serve also, it is a devotee who's blessing us with that opportunity, isn't it? Otherwise, how will we get an opportunity to serve also? And it all depends on our desire. If we have the desire to serve, then Krishna will arrange for opportunities. Krishna will arrange for devotees association. Everything will be arranged by the Lord. If we have the desire to serve, that the three doers. This also, I think I tell in every class. I think everybody would know what I'm going to say. But yeah, so this is what comes to my mind. There are three doers, right? The Jiva, the Prakriti, and Lord Krishna himself. Right? What is the role of a Jiva? Our role is only to desire. If I desire service to the Lord, then Krishna will help me by arranging the situations, right? Krishna will order Prakriti to create situations which will help me advance in devotional service, will give me opportunities to perform devotional service. And how I utilize the opportunity is my free will, right? If I make excuses and not do, then I may not get more opportunities in future. But if I utilize that opportunity and serve in a way, serve in the mode of dasanu, dasanu, das, then Krishna will be pleased, Guru will be pleased, and Guru and Gauranga will give me more opportunities to serve. And that's how my evolution goes on, right? And then I reach a particular stage where I simply work for the pleasure of the Lord, simply work for the pleasure of Guru and Gauranga, right? So yeah, so it is all how I, which direction I move in, depending on my desire and depending on how I execute my free will. Yeah. I hope that helps in some way, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Super.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Raj.
Thank you, Sukhar Krishna Prabhu, for being with us. Thank you for asking always beautiful questions. Actually, that help all of us. Thank you, Mataji. Beautiful answer. I certainly agree. And I also agree on iPhone. Why iPhone? But I think today the situation is we don't buy iPhone, it's iPhone that buying us. Then we are always, especially when we are new, young, we are always in the phone. Then seems like we are married with the phone. Thank you, Mataji. Our Jyoti Mataji. Hare Krishna, Jyoti Mataji, Danva Pranam.
Hare Krishna, Danvat Pranam, Prabhuji. Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to ask the question. Hare Krishna, Danvat Pranam, Mataji. Mataji, my question is, I feel, or I think I have observed that there is a constant flickering faith happens. Means now I am being chanting a year and a half. So I don't see that there is increase in faith. Means there is a leap of a faith, then there is a dip in the faith. So what exactly happens? Why there is so much of flickering happening in that faith? Can you please give me some solution to it?
Correct. So there are 9 stages of devotional service, right? First, we start with Shraddha. Like you said, you have some faith, and that sometimes it increases a lot, right? So Shraddha, Sadhu Sangha, Bhajana Kriya, Anartha Nivritti. Then comes the stage of Nishtha, right? Beyond Nishtha, we will talk about it when we reach there, right? So as of now, a little bit of faith is there. Because of that, I am engaging in associating with devotees. And what am I doing? I'm doing Bhajana Kriya, right? What am I doing? Bhajana Kriya, chanting early in the morning during Brahma Muhurta hours, studying Srimad Bhagavatam. More important than studying, like I said, is hearing Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita from pure devotees of the Lord. Those devotees who are Bhagavatas, person Bhagavatas, hearing from them. These two are very important. ABCD square we follow, right? Bhajana Kriya. Then what happens? Anartha Nivritti. When the anarthas, lust, anger, greed, pride, envy, illusion, it is like a weighing scale. Whenever lust, anger, greed, pride, envy, illusion, it comes down because of our devotional practices, then our Shraddha increases, right? And then Anartha Nivritti reduces, and then Shraddha increases to the level of Nishtha, right? Where our Komal faith, very, very nascent level of faith actually becomes strong faith, Nishtha. So when we reach a level of Nishtha, then we progress from there. Then we get taste, then we get attachment to the Lord, then we get Bhava, Prema, etc., etc. But now, when between this stage of Shraddha and Nishtha, if you're having a problem, then it is in the process of we have to contemplate and evaluate ourselves, right? Where is the problem happening? Is it in Sadhu Sangha? Is it in Bhajana Kriya? Because Anartha Nivritti is the result of what we are performing, the Bhajana Kriya and Sadhu Sangha. So is it that I'm not taking association of devotees? Is it that my hearing is not okay? Is it that I'm not chanting properly? That is Bhajana Kriya, all of the Bhajana Kriya. And am I committing some kind of Vaishnava aparadh? Am I serving the devotees with with the intention of serving and pleasing them, right? His Grace Radheshyam Prabhu always says, wonderfully, serve, satisfy, and please, right? Sometimes we just do the service. We just do it, right? Tick mark box, right? That's just serve. Sometimes we satisfy. That means we do what they tell us, right? Ye karo, kar diya. Prabhu, kar diya. Okay. And please is what? You find out what will please that devotee. Because when you please that devotee, the devotee will bless you, right? I didn't even tell this person. This person went an extra mile to please me, right? When we do that, we get the blessing of that devotee. And that blessing will have a greater effect, right? We can be sadhana siddhas or kripa siddhas. Sadhana siddhas, we can continue chanting and doing whatever is prescribed to us. That's very, very good. But when that kripa comes along with the sadhana, then the benefit of advancement is all the more higher. That is very important, to get the blessing of Vaishnavas. Have I pleased a Vaishnava? Have I got the blessing of a Vaishnava without even asking them? If we do that, if we regularly think, have I pleased a Vaishnava genuinely? Have I made an effort? Right? That person may not tell us, oh, you did so much for me. But in our heart, we know that have we gone that extra mile to please somebody, to please a Vaishnava, especially our Siksha Guru, especially our Diksha Guru, like that. So when we do that, then that satisfaction which is there will enable us to chant more, will help us to hear more. Like when we do that more and more, then our faith will increase more and more. I think we can also experience it. Sometimes we don't get the taste, and then we go back and check. Then, maybe sometimes, like Rupa Goswami, we're discussing in the previous session, isn't it? He was just laughing at somebody while thinking of the pastimes of the Lord. But when that devotee or that person thought that this Rupa Goswami is laughing at me, he lost taste. That is in the stage of Prema Bhakti. Rupa Goswami is like, he wants to chant millions and millions of names of Krishna. That is the state for that person. So what to talk of us? We are sadhana bhaktas. We commit Vaishnava aparadh in and out daily without even realizing it, isn't it? So when we don't have taste, when we feel that our faith is lacking, we should be more careful in our interaction with the Vaishnavas, right? And we should serve Vaishnavas. We should take up every opportunity to serve the Vaishnavas, right? Because in that way, even when we are unknowingly committing offense towards certain Vaishnavas, when we get the profuse blessing of certain Vaishnavas, especially our Guru, Siksha Guru, Diksha Guru, then those blessings will help us understand, right? I'm reminded of this this pastime. What is this pastime? Devananda Pandit, right? Devananda Pandit was giving Bhagavata Saptaha, right? He actually was in such a stage that whoever hears this Bhagavatam class, they used to go into Ashtavikara, right? They roll on the ground, cry, exhibit all those symptoms. Srivas Thakur was in that assembly. And when Srivas Thakur was exhibiting these symptoms, his disciples, the disciples of Devananda Pandit, actually take him out. They think that this person is a disturbance here. They take him out. And Devananda Pandit, he did not commit anything. He only did not do anything. He did not stop his disciples. But then what happened? He lost taste. He continued Bhagavata Saptaha, but he lost taste in Bhagavatam and everything. But when, I miss the name, there is one devotee who actually comes to do Kirtan in Navadvip. He goes and serves that devotee. He ensures that his Kirtan is not disrupted. When he serves this devotee, what happens? This devotee is blessing him, saying that, oh, you helped me so much. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu noted this, and he revealed to Devanand Pandit that you have actually offended Srivas Thakur. Go and beg forgiveness. And Devanand Pandit immediately goes and begs forgiveness from Srivas Thakur. Vakreshwara Pandit, yes. So he assists Vakreshwara Pandit in his Kirtan, and he gets the profuse blessings of Vakreshwara Pandit. And because of that, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu reveals to him that it is due to his offense that committed to Srivas Thakur that he's lost this taste. And he serves Srivas Thakur, isn't it? He begs forgiveness from Srivas Thakur. So he is forgiven for that offense. So he did not know, right? He continued, but he continued the service, right, of all the Vaishnavas. He took the opportunity to serve the Vaishnavas. Like that, we should continue with our service, because we are so much manda sumanda matayo manda bhagya upadrita, right? We are so much manda that sometimes you don't even know. At least I am so manda. I don't know that I'm committing offenses, but I continue. But at least we should understand in our heart that I should continue my services to the Vaishnavas in every opportunity. When I continue, then some Vaishnavas bless us so much that the Lord may be pleased and he will reveal to us that these are the mistakes you are making. And when we correct those mistakes, then our advancement will be faster. It may happen in geometrical proportion and not in the arithmetic proportion. That takes a long time. So in this way, we can introspect, Mataji. Does that help, Mataji, in some way?
Yeah, but the last sentence was what really hit me like anything. It's not in geometrical. It's all about the geometrical and arithmetic. It's not going to work in the way in which I was just thinking. It cannot be in straight line and just inclined or a slope. It will be not like that. Like our devotional practice is also not like that. I think that Lord doesn't like a straight line. That is what my conclusion is coming out. Hare Krishna Mataji.
I think, I mean, we should go beyond I think, right? Because I think is still mental speculation. We should ask our Siksha Guru. If you don't have taste, you should go and simply ask. You should confess that, somehow Prabhu or Mataji, last 2-3 days, I'm not, I don't feel the inclination to chant. I think, I might have committed some Vaishnava Aparadha or something. It's because that person knows you so well, day in and day out. That's what is a Siksha Guru, right? We don't have the benefit of having association, such close association with our Diksha Gurus. Right? Earlier, the Diksha Guru used to be the person who actually guides. But now we have the benefit of Siksha Guru's association. That person knows us in and out. Right? Sometimes we do something and that person will immediately crack. It has happened with me. It has happened with me many times. That the person tells exactly, because I don't realize it, but I've been doing that mistake, and immediately it helps us to correct ourselves. So we should move beyond what I think, and we should seek clarification from a senior devotee who knows us in and out. That way we progress better, Mataji. That's just a humble suggestion from my end. If you like, you may take that and try it out. Okay, Mataji.
Sure, Mataji, sure. I have noted down. It will take time. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much.
Yes, it takes a lot of time. I would like to reiterate here that whatever I'm saying is what I've heard from senior devotees. And I also seek the blessings of all the Vaishnavas to put it into practice. Right? Like I said, it's there in the head. It is there. But to actually get into the heart is not within our endeavor. It is simply the blessings of the Vaishnavas. Simply the blessings of Guru and Gauranga that we can actually implement. Right? Tesham evanu kampartham aham ajnanachamtaha nashayame atma bhavastu jnana deepena bhashvataha. That light of lamp, or the lamp, has to be lit in our heart by the Lord, by the blessings of all the Vaishnavas and Guru and Gauranga only. Right? So that's what it is. So let's try and endeavor together, Mataji. We are all in the same boat. At least you and me
I'm
look to be
very
in the same boat.
Mataji. I just go on asking every day. Everything I ask, I note down. I try to implement one step ahead, like that. So thank you so much.
That's the best attitude, Mataji. You're in the right boat with the right attitude of learning. And we have our captain, Srila Prabhupada. He will take us. He will help us cross over the ocean of material existence. So we simply have to do what Srila Prabhupada has told us, and the association of devotees, avoid offenses, and hear from our Siksha Guru, and have this mentality happen, have an open mind, and hear from them and follow their instructions. They will help us, progress in Krishna Bhakti. Yeah. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much. Dandvat pranam to you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Beautiful answer. Not only you too, but I am also benefited by the answer. So I do that every day. I think Vaishnava Aparadha, one after another.
See, by constantly repeating what happens, it goes in the mind, right? It goes into my heart also. So one day I hope by repeating these words again and again, it will actually go into my heart and I can also practice it. So that is that is a prayer to all the Vaishnavas to kindly bless me also. So that
Mataji,
we can
you
all
bless
progress
us.
well in Krishna consciousness. Yeah.
You bless us, Mataji. We need your blessings. We need your blessings, Mataji.
We need each other's blessings, Prabhu. Yeah.
Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Mataji, there are so many beautiful comments. Devotees are thanking you in the chat box. Shri Moni Nandarani Mataji, Parima Mataji, Vrinda Gopika Mataji,
Very
Intulekha
grateful
Mataji,
to all the devotees.
Bhagavati Harini Mataji, Jananda Gauri Hari Prabhu from Chennai. So all over the world, Jyoti Mataji, Anita Mataji, everybody is thanking you, Mataji, for the class.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you, Mataji.
Very,
Tiffany
very
Mataji is there now. Nisha Mataji is there. Jyoti Mataji. Everybody is now thanking you, Mataji. Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you very much. Thank you very
Mataji,
much. Hare Krishna.
With your permission, I don't see any more hand raised or any more questions in the chat box. Vrinda Gopika Mataji is there. Vrinda Gopika Mataji, Hare Krishna, Danva Pranam. Mataji wants to say Hare Krishna to you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandat Pranam.
Vrinda Gopika Mataji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Koti Koti Dandat Pranam. Yes, Mataji, whatever you teach us, Mataji, please, we need your blessing and we need your association. I agree with you that Lord Krishna and Srimati Sri Radharani and our Guru Parampara and Six Goswamis make that problems very small. Before 3 months, I have a knee surgery. I know, Mataji. That my father always said that teach us that suri ka ga sui se gaya, matlab there is a big difficulties came in our life, but because of the mercy of Sri Nityananda and Sri Gauranga and by the mercy of blessing of all Vaishnava, it's become a knob of the sui ka knob jitni choti ho jati hai. So we should take it positively, and I agree, Mataji. Whenever your chanting is not good, Mataji, some punishment, some material body punishment excitement come. And so you chant again, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. That is my experience. And Jyoti Mataji, your question is maybe so many Mataji's question, and we also get the answer from your question. Hari Hari Gauranga, Koti Koti Dandavat Pranam Mataji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. Thank you for sharing your realizations.
Thank you, Vrinda Gopika Mataji. Thank you. That was so beautiful for you jumping in, and so beautifully you said, "वो सुई के नोक जैसी हो जाती है," right? So we should understand that Krishna is there. That means always pinching us. So that's okay. That sui ki nok. Thank you so much, Mataji. More comments from Mega Mataji, very regular devotee. Darshana.
Very grateful to all the devotees. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mataji.
Seeking the blessings of all the Vaishnavas. Hare Krishna.
Yes, Mataji. Mataji, with your permission, we'll end the class. If you're okay, Mataji. Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you
Dear
very much.
devotees, Lalita Mataji is there like always. Lalita Mataji is our very regular devotee, Mataji. Thank you, Lalita Mataji and Dinabandhu Prabhu for being there always with us. Thank you so much. Thank you. Jai Srila Prabhupada.
Thank you very much.
Dear devotees, let us pay our obeisances to Mataji. Let us thank her. Vancha kalpa kripa Srimad Bhagavatam ki Srila Prabhupada ji ki Medhavini Sakhi Mataji ki the assembled devotees. Radhe 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 Radhe